Today, we're going to be taking a look at people committing the cardinal sin of lying on the internet from the subreddit r/thatHappened. My son's birthday is 3/4. I'm guessing that means the 4th of March because this post is American and they do their dates wrong over there. Like, how does their date system make any sense? How does month, day, year make any sense at all? Like, I think most countries do day, month, year, and some countries do year, month, day. Both of those make sense. The American system makes no sense. But anyway, my son's birthday is 3/4. He walks into college US history. The professor asked, does anyone know what day inaugurations were held on from 1793 to 1933? My son answered March 3rd. He was then asked how he knew that. He said, my mum taught me. I was homeschooled. The professor said, you already know more than I'm going to teach. You've got an A. Don't bother coming back to class. Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. Your son answered one question in class and the teacher just went, yeah, you can leave now. Yeah, I'm not going to teach you anything you don't know. Of course that happens. My girlfriend took her 20-year-old daughter to a clinic for some small thing. The girl talked to an intern for 20 minutes. Then the intern came out and told my girlfriend that she didn't have a daughter, she had a son, and that we needed to get her on a transition path ASAP. Luckily, my girlfriend is not woke and pushed back. Today, the girl is fine and still a girl, but if my girlfriend had been weaker, the poor girl would now be stuck in the transitioning mess. So I take issue with the people who say this sort of thing doesn't happen. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. What the fuck? What, you think when someone, they say clinic, so I'm guessing they either spoke to a doctor or a nurse. You think doctors and nurses are just there, like, trying to convince people to become trans? Fucking shut up. This is the most unbelievable story ever. Had to refuse selling alcohol to Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, of course you did. Let's hear this one. So Joe Biden was in... Yeah, I'm sure Joe Biden was just nipping down to the corner shop. What? So Joe Biden was in my line, and when I scanned his Bud Light, I told him that I had to see his ID, and he laughed and said that he's the former president, so I don't need to see his ID. I told him it's the store policy, and we ID everyone, and he said that for security reasons, he can't show his ID. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, that he can't show his ID with his address on it. I don't know, why am I saying, this isn't true. This isn't a true story. I said that he couldn't buy the alcohol in that case, and he got so mad at me, and he told my manager about it, and I got fired for just doing my job. Well, you didn't, because this just didn't happen. But even if this story was true, you deserve to get fired for that. He's like 100 years old. What do you mean you need to see his ID? I had selective mutism and didn't utter a word until one day I got a solo in a chorus concert. My first time speaking was singing to a crowd of people. Of course it was. Does this person live in like a fucking Illumination movie or something? That's beautiful. Who on earth would give a solo to a person who doesn't speak? That's true. There's a big flaw in this person's fake story. Finally. Okay, so this looks like a LinkedIn post. I know a LinkedIn post when I see it. Or is this Facebook? I don't know. I don't care. Finally, I get the respect I deserve, lol, for the cool guy in the Cybertruck, man. It's so sad that you've written that yourself on the cup for the cool guy in the Cybertruck, man. He's just been sat there with his little Sharpie in his Cybertruck. My day is ruined because I just found out Starbucks baristas are required to handwrite written messages to all customers per corporate. I thought the cute barista was flirting with me, but I guess it was just good customer service. I love your Cybertruck. Yeah, I don't know. Do I believe that they wrote that on the cup? I don't know. I feel as though this feels sarcastic because she underlined the love quite a lot. Also, I genuinely don't think I've ever met a woman in my life that likes the look of the Cybertruck. It's like a car only a guy could like, you know. You're never going to see a woman cutting about in a Cybertruck. Oh my god. Okay, right, this isn't real. This isn't real. So, I did Musk's salute at work in front of some of my Jewish friends and told them some people think he did the Nazi sign. They all laughed and said that's insane thinking. So there you go. Don't bother answering this because I'm finished arguing with ignorance. Have a good life. I watched it happen and it made me sick. A mum in front of me at Starbucks ordered 2 small drinks for her kids. Nothing fancy, just something to make their morning a little brighter. She reached for her wallet and the cashier immediately assumed a sigh, an eye roll, and then loud enough for everyone to hear, we don't take food stamps for luxury items. What bullshit. luxury. Her face turned red. The kids just stood there, too young to understand why their mum suddenly looked like she wanted to disappear. I saw her hands tremble. She started digging through her purse, moving too fast, like she had to prove she wasn't one of those people. I knew exactly what was happening. She wasn't just paying for coffee, she was paying for dignity. And the worst part, Starbucks let it happen. Their cashier didn't even blink. No one stepped in. Just another day of shaming someone for trying to bring a little happiness to her kids. So I did what Starbucks wouldn't. I swiped my gift card and paid for the... I think if you're wanting to, if you think someone wants to gain back their dignity, you should probably just let them pay for it themselves. This didn't happen. Why am I saying that? She looks at me, eyes glassy, barely holding it together. Thank you, she whispered. She wasn't used to kindness, like she was used to people like that cashier making her feel less than. This never fucking happened. This person has made up a total fantasy story to make them seem like a hero. No cashier has ever spoken to someone like that. Me, how was your day? 8-year-old. I just worry they're doing it wrong. Me, doing what wrong? They separate everything so we can't understand anything. Who says music isn't really math or math isn't science really? Someone made categories, but the world is a mushier than that. Your 8-year-old is fucking stupid. A guy whistled at me at the gym. 30 minutes later, I saw him going to the treadmill. Used my phone to hack it. All right, Neo. Used your phone to hack the treadmill and set it to 50 miles an hour. He fell on his ass and the owner gave me a free 12-month subscription, and then everyone in the gym cheered. I saved this young man yesterday. Oh, you're so great, man. You're so great. He turned 22 and finally he has some money. At the restaurant, this girl, why is it capitalized like random words? That's so jarring to read something like that. Anyway, at the restaurant, this girl was trying hard to make him go out to fuck, man. It's hard to read this shit out loud. This girl was trying hard to make him go out to downtown and take her with him. I can tell he had no experience. I pulled him to the side. I told him to focus on his future and ignore her. What? Why? She was irritated when I said that as she walked away. He realized how easy she walked away. These girls are professional users our professional users of who fucking wrote this? I guess this is supposed to say are. These girls are professional users of men. Any dummy willing to spend his money on her so she could have a good time on somebody else's wallet, then she will go to the next. In 10 years, a man can have the world. In 10 years, a woman will just be old. Stay focused, man. We don't age like rotten fruit. We shine as we get older. Well, it's good to see this guy's handling the divorce well. This is clearly a post-divorce post. Like, nobody who hasn't been recently divorced would post some shit like this. Stay focused, man. We don't age like rotten fruit. If you get with that slag, she'll take the kids. She won't let you see them. Teen, Mum, why is that lady staring at me like that and flipping her hair? Is she flirting with me? Me spots the 30-something-year-old clearly scoping out my 15-year-old. Stay here with your sister. I'll be right back. To the woman, if a man was doing what you're doing right now, he'd be considered a predator. This is predatory behavior. You clearly, in your mid-adult years, have zero business acting flirty like that. Get your inner teen in check before I check you. Her runs away. That absolutely... Flipping her hair. What do you turn around? There was just a 30-something-year-old woman going, oh, and looking at your 15-year-old. I told my dad yesterday I was going to see you today, and he thought it would be funny to jump on me to wake me up, and he gave me a hickey. I was like, really? Yeah, that old chestnut. Your dad jumped on you and gave you a hickey. Yeah, that happened. Me walks into a crumble cookie and gives my name for the order. The crumble cookies are fucking grim, by the way. If you don't know what they are, they're like this, they're this American cookie company. They've got like shops and stuff. And each cookie is like at least 600 calories. That's kind of what they're known for, just having like really calorific cookies, like cookies that are really bad for you. I tried some when I went to America. And they just taste the chemicals. They're fucking horrible. They're actually grim. Usually if something has a lot of calories, it's because it has a lot of butter and a lot of sugar and a lot of like stuff that, you know, is like, it's like nice. It just like crumble cookies just taste as straight chemicals. They're grim. But anyway, employee hands me cookie. Your name sounds familiar. Oh yeah? Looks at me and hesitates. Are you by chance a writer? Taken her back. Yes, I write dark romance. Yes, the ones about the wedding party in a mansion with the games, grinning like an idiot. OMG, yes. Yo, I've never met a reader out in the wild. I'm still sure. You know what? I believe this. I believe it. I believe this person. Why not? They could be like a semi-famous author for all I know. You know, like I believe that. My co-workers were suggesting places to get lunch: Mexican, Indian, Syrian, except Syrian? That's an obscure cuisine to go to for lunch. Syrian? I honestly don't think I've ever seen a Syrian restaurant in my life. Anyway, I said, how about that German place? They all stared at me. What? I said. They all started calling me a bigot, saying I must be a Nazi to want German food and that it's racist to eat white food. It's racist to eat white food. Nobody has ever said that. It's racist to eat white food. So what, like eating any fast food is racist? So this was posted on the mildly interesting subreddit. Ordered a refurb PC from a German company. DVD RW kept making weird noises. This was inside. Yeah, of course it You've just torn off a bit of paper and written Adolf was here and put it in your fucking disk drive. Like... So I'm on the phone with my mum and she mentions Trump, the border, and deporting legal citizens. Dead ass, we both hear, this call is now being recorded. So we both pause. Did you hear that? Did you touch your phone and prompt that? The phone just said we're being recorded. Neither of us had touched our phones. Shortly after that, this call is no longer being recorded. And 9.3 thousand people on Threads, which is a lot of people for fucking Threads, likes this tweet and believed it. Fucking, we need to have like rational thinking classes, I think. My 15-year-old just looked up from the couch and said, ever think about how Santa Claus imagery is just like Christian iconography? Which makes sense. He's basically America's chief deity. He's like any other god, omnipotent, watching us all the time, insisting on good behavior, punishing or rewarding. But the religion he represents is capitalism. Pause. He's a capitalist religious icon and our worship of him is consumerism. Goes back to their phone, the kid's alright. I mean, I doubt that happened, but if that did, your 15-year-old's a fucking nerd. He needs to be fucking wedgied more. £10,000 on my book. If I asked a random person this question, what do you think they'd choose? Honestly, I fully expected her to say £10,000 without hesitation, but she didn't. She chose the book. This is that fucking they blurred his name, but this is that fucking Simon Squibb guy, innit? I mean, this did happen. This did happen, but it was like a TikTok video. He does these like on the street interviews, and he asked someone like 10,000. I don't know if it was 10,000 or 1,000. But I saw a clip of him offering someone money or his book, and the fucking idiot chose the book. And he was like, "Oh, why did you choose the book?" He's like, "I feel as though I would get more knowledge from the book than." Sorry, my camera stopped there right in the middle of my fucking rendition. But the person was like, "Yeah, I feel as though I'll get more knowledge from the book than I would from the money."
Would you like my book signed by me, 30 years of my knowledge? Or £10,000?
No. Well, a book.
Do you want the book?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Book yours.
Really?
It felt like a child answering like a trick question at school. I don't know. I feel as though they only say that because they're put under pressure by the cameras and they feel as though it's the right answer to say. But she didn't. She chose the book. And let me tell you, she chose correctly. Here's why. No, she didn't. She could buy the book with... she could buy several copies of the book with £10,000. Had she chosen the money, it would have just been spent, dwindling down to zero eventually. Not if you put it in investments. Instead, by choosing the knowledge in... Instead, by choosing the knowledge in my book, she now has access to tools and strategies to turn money into more money. Her original plan was to put the 10k towards a mortgage. This would have essentially been her paying for another boss. It's not. But getting a mortgage is not like having another boss. You're actually better off getting a mortgage than paying for a property outright. Because if you say like, I don't know, you get a £500,000 property, you put 50k down instead of 500k. Properties go up slower than the stock market, so it's better. So if you have that much money, it's better just to chuck it in the stock market. You make more money. Sorry, being boring. But her decision showed me something far more important: commitment. Because of her choice, I now feel compelled to help her even more. Oh, that's great. I see her potential, and I'm going to do everything I can to help her achieve financial freedom so long as she stays dedicated. Sometimes the right decision isn't the easiest one, but it's the one that leads to the most growth. The more risk you take, the luckier you get. Would you have made the same choice? And of course, he's left a link to buy his book. Guys, like this video if you would take the memeulous book. Subscribe if you would take the 10 grand. You would get so much knowledge from the memeulous book. I teach you so much.